Welcome, Aries, to the month of June 2018. I'm Megan of North Star Astrology, and this is another general transits reading for those of you born with your sun, moon, and rising signs in the first zodiacal sign of Aries the Ram. And Aries, you rule the very first house of the self and body and or the head and brain matter. So now, let's see. Your month, the month of June, starts out with Pluto conjuncting the moon in your 10th house of career before the moon moves, and sorry for the glare, hang on. Yeah, there's nothing I can do for that. Well, before the moon moves into Aquarius, having the moon conjunct Pluto in your 10th house of career and public standing and ego creates a rather emotionally transformative, possible, I don't want to say turmoil, but it can be emotionally charged. And then it moves into your 11th house of friendships in Aquarius at the 22 hour and 7 minutes into the day of June 2nd. Now on June 4th, Jupiter, which has been transiting your 8th house, squares the moon. So 3 houses away here we have Jupiter in the water sign of Scorpio squaring the moon in the air sign of Aquarius. So from the 8th to the 11th houses, you have this contentious but challenging, a bit of a challenging aspect from perhaps asking assertively and emotionally friends for some kind of others, asking friends for financial resources, their resources, or in some way asking or garnering help in a group event. But in other words, with this square, there could be a bit of a challenge. Then on June 6th, the last quarter moon happens in your 12th house of the subconscious mind and dreams at 15 degrees Pisces, 60 minutes, which then trines, let's see here. Yeah. The moon in Pisces will then trine Venus in Cancer in your 4th house of the home. So now from the 12th to the 4th houses, or 4th to 12th, either way, there is a glorious, and notice how this light from my window blinds has completely highlighted this beautifully harmonious angle, or flowing 120 degree energy flow from your 4th house of the home to your 12th house. And with this moon in your 12th house in Pisces, this gives you the ability to perhaps be able to tap into an intrinsic, more Piscean state of being and gently go about beautifying, as Venus rules the energy of beautification, beautifying anything within the home. And being that it's in its last quarter, there you have it. You may be wrapping last quarter projects up in the home. Then the moon moves into your sign in the 1st house of the self and body, the physical self. And then proceeds to square Venus. So now from the 1st to the 4th houses, you now have the challenging square from your how are you going to accomplish, or emotionally how are you going to set about maybe some sort of financial or something to do with wanting to do something for the home, but maybe not having the financial or complete, like a recipe, for instance. Maybe you don't have that one ingredient to make the project work, or that one tool, to make your home run smoothly. And then on June 12th, Mercury, which has been in your 3rd house in Gemini, moves out of your 3rd house and into your 4th house of the home into Cancer. So now you have here another cardinal sign. You yourself are a cardinal sign. And what this means is that you can mentally take charge or have more of a leadership role within your home environment, especially maybe if you're running a home business, And then on June 13th, the sun conjuncts the moon in your 3rd house of communications, which then transpires into the new moon, which is what a new moon is the sun and moon coming together. Before the moon then moves into your, once again, 4th house of the home, into Cancer. Oh, and then also on June 13th, before I forget here, Venus leaves Cancer and enters Leo on June 13th. And Venus feels at home in the 5th house because it's all about romance and creativity. And for you, Aries, that might make you a bit impulsive if you're not already impulsive, being the fire sign that you are. And then on June 15th, Pluto opposes the moon when the moon enters your my bad. Your moon, the moon here in your fourth house of the home here. Pluto opposes the moon, going from your 10th house of career to the 4th house of the home. And as I always like to say, this is a point of awareness with this opposition. So maybe you'll have more of an awareness that you need to balance home and career life. And then on June 18th, the sun then stays there in your 3rd house of communications, but the moon comes into your 5th house of romance and creativity, and then sextiles the sun. So now from the 3rd house to the 5th house, you have the ability to emotionally express your creativity in a most illuminating and magnanimous, like pow, through beautifully intellectual, creative ways, rather than running roughshod over someone or something, so that helps. This sextile is another, I love all the beautiful aspects that are going on this month in June. And then on June 20th, the moon then goes into your 6th house of health, work, and service given, into Virgo, into its first quarter phase, lest I forget again. Okay. So now, first things first. Things are taking shape, and with this first quarter moon phase, you are kind of coming from that new moon and going forward. In other words, moving forward with your health and work ideas or projects that you may have had goals on, and proceeding, with how should I say, a fiery passion, but yet since the moon here is in Virgo, more of a practical way, a common sense way of going about your plan. And then on June 21st, the sun moves from Gemini and enters Cancer into your 4th house of the home. And bringing you, making your home life more highlighted. And then on June 22nd, the moon squares Pluto from your 7th to your 10th house of career. So here we're coming around full circle the circle of life here. The transits here are coming around full circle for you with the moon in relations with in the others house of business partnerships as well, squaring your 10th house of career and maybe business colleagues. But keep in mind, the 10th house is also the house of the ego. And therefore, keep yourself grounded here on earth. Here, see, you are here. And know that Pluto square the moon is a bit of a tricky square, but a good kind of a square in a sense that it gives you that impetus. Just remember not to be too impulsive. Then the moon eventually moves into your 8th house, into Scorpio, and trines Mercury in your 4th house of the home. So from the 8th to the 4th houses, water. Cancer is a water sign. Scorpio is the other water sign. You now have a beautifully harmonious trine from the moon in Scorpio to Mercury, now that it's in Cancer. And this gives you the ability to, once again, ask for others' resources, most likely a bank. In other words, asking for a loan, asking for a big loan for the home. Then on June 26th, the moon in Sagittarius in your 9th house of religion and philosophy and higher learning squares Neptune in your 12th house. So from the 9th to the 12th houses, you now have another challenge. Only this is in terms of, possibly, hopefully tapping into your subconscious dreams. If you can remember your dreams at all, this is a good key to success in higher education or whatever other pursuit you're needing to or wanting to endeavor on. And then the full moon occurs in your 10th house of career, at 6 degrees Capricorn, 28 minutes on June 28th. And again, this is when a full moon occurs, Capricorn, Cancer, an opposition. That's when there's an opposition. But here again, with this full moon, you can shed or illuminate light, positive, superfluous, if I think that I can pronounce that correctly, into your career sector. So now, and also, the moon now also conjuncts Pluto in your 10th house of career. So this is a very transformational month for you in terms of public standing and your career. Then the moon finally wanes over into Aquarius, and the final planet ingress for the month is that Mercury leaves your 4th house of the home in Cancer into your 5th house of romance and creativity into Leo. And with that, Aries, I wish you a wonderful month of June. Be it a peaceful one. Thanks for looking up upon the North Star. Feel free to like, comment down below, subscribe, or even share if you like. And thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you in the month of July. Bye.